Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bryan's Basement. Today's going to be a special 2-for-1 bonus episode. We're going to be talking about Silent Hill. I'll give a little review. And I'm going to be talking about the Defender from RetroFighters, the PS1, PS2 wireless controller. So let's get right into it. Alright, welcome back everyone. So let's get started. A little background. I decided to play a little bit of a creepy game just because it's around Halloween season. So I've never actually played the original Silent Hill, so I decided to go back and check it out. I'm a big fan of Metal Gear Solid. I love Konami from that era, so I just thought it was long overdue, and it definitely was. I mean, what an excellent game. I'm going to definitely get into it some more in just a second. Alright, so before we get into the Silent Hill review, I just wanted to give a little review of the RetroFighters Defender. It's a neat little product, so I just wanted to talk about it a little bit, and it all will tie into the Silent Hill review, or I might just spill the beans right now. Probably just do that. So, the Defender, it's a wireless controller that you can plug into your PS1, PS2. It says it's also compatible with the PS3. Haven't tested that at all. Only used it with PS1 and PS2. I really like this. I think it's a very nice controller. It's sturdy, it's quality, it's got long battery life. I mean, I didn't ever approach a dead battery, and I was probably putting 6 or 7 hours before I would recharge it. More on the charging. It runs off USB-C, so I mean, it's just very modern, very user-friendly, very nice, you know. It's got some nice travel. The sticks have a good feel, you know, the analog sticks, and I really like it. It's got a similar design, if you can kind of see, for the rumble. So the rumble's nice. It's an all-around really great controller. I played Xenosaga Episode 2 with it, and I played through the whole thing. For RPGs, it's great. I haven't really noticed any bad lag with it. I know some wireless controllers, you get some input lag. This one doesn't really have that. I paid $39.99 for it. I think I got it on Amazon. I really enjoy it. I'd recommend it. I think it's a pretty nice substitute for a PlayStation controller. Now, one small issue I had, and it's not even really an issue with the controller, it's kind of just the way my fingers sit, but with the shared D-pad that they had here, when I was playing Silent Hill, because of the tank controls where you have to kind of press forward to keep your guy moving, I kept veering off to the side because of the shared D-pad. My finger would kind of, slip, so that was a drawback to me. So I ended up, during the playthrough of this game, going back to the regular PS1 wired controller because of the singular button D-pads. But I mean, that was just minor for this game, and honestly that's probably more of a personal preference because Silent Hill was a game that came out after the DualShock, so really it wouldn't really be that out of character to use the analog sticks on that as well. So it was just kind of a preference thing, and that was the only thing that the only, not really complaint, but the only negative thing, I guess, that I would have to say about it. I mean, besides the controls in Silent Hill being a little weird and making me want to switch back to the PlayStation controller because I'm more familiar to that. I don't think that's any fault of RetroFighters. And I'm going to be honest, when I plugged this thing in after I got it, it didn't come out of my PS1 or PS2 until like last week, and I got it 3 months ago. So, highly recommended for anybody that's looking for a wireless controller. This is a great option. You know, put that off to the side and get into something more about Silent Hill. So, this is why I'm making the video. I was really excited to play this game. I had always heard of it. I'm not like the biggest survival horror fan. I probably got into survival horror with Resident Evil 4. So obviously, for those of you that know, Resident Evil 4 is more of an action game with survival horror elements. So it's not as much your classic survival horror. After getting into Resident Evil 4, I went back and played like Resident Evil 1 and 2. I haven't played any of the others. I really should go back and play like Code Veronica and all that stuff, so look out for a future video. But anyway, I had picked this up and I just never got around to playing it, and I decided, with it being Halloween, you know, why not pop it in? And holy crap, I'm happy I did, because this game is really, it's a real, like, masterpiece, honestly. I mean, just what, it just feels so big and so expansive when you're inside the town, and it's really got a creepy atmosphere that it's hard to recapture with games, even with better graphics. I don't think I need to give much of an introduction to this game. I'm sure most people know it's a pretty famous franchise. You know, you're playing as a guy who loses his daughter and has to find her in this crazy town, and you just go through all these crazy experiences. It's very trippy. The story's very abstract. I was kind of trying to piece it all together. But you know, I got what I could, and I really enjoyed it. I think I will go back. I like that there's replayability with the multiple endings. So, you know, just a brief review of this game. I thought the graphics were really cool. I really liked the graphics. It reminded me a lot of, like, the Metal Gear Solid, how the faces are kind of that, like, blank with the gray, and it's just very interesting art style. I liked how the cutscenes were done. I thought that, like, the CGI work was excellent. I mean, that's just beautiful. But beyond that, I think that, like, the interactions between the characters, even though it's a little stiff because it's PlayStation 1, it was still well done, and I was engaged. I was immersed in the game. It has a really creepy atmosphere, you know, wandering around the town. The music is very creepy. Silent Hill is scary as hell because of the controls. The controls in the beginning are so odd, and you have to get used to just the way how everything works. And I think that really adds to the fear, because you're just like fumbling around, and it's just that classic survival horror. So especially if you're turning it up, playing it at night in the dark, which you should definitely be doing, because this game is still creepy as hell if you play it like that. And you know, I was just really impressed with the atmosphere and how well this game still holds up today. And I think that if anybody was like me and was hesitant and hadn't checked it out, go ahead, definitely check it out. I mean, I think that the kick in the butt for me was probably the announcement that they're remaking Silent Hill 2. So that was the only Silent Hill I'd actually played. So I was like, let me go back and play some of the other ones that I have. So I'm not disappointed at all that I did. Now, granted, I will make some admissions here. I did use a strategy guide. I used the Brady Game strategy guide, which I didn't really like. I thought that it was kind of poorly written. And I think that when I play Silent Hill 3, I'm going to actually play it for real and try and do it without a strategy guide. So we'll see how that goes. But it was fun to use the strategy guide and kind of blow through it in a weekend. It still took me some time because the controls are a little clunky. It's got like tank controls, so no matter what way your character's facing, since the camera angle's fixed, you're always pressing straight to get them to move straight. So if you're turned around, everything's kind of in reverse with the turning. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. You know, you're definitely, but this controller I found to be a lot easier than this, because when I was turning, this would inadvertently turn if I moved my finger, you know, to one side or the other. So I found that I had to switch to the old wire, and I didn't mind. I was sitting right up against the TV, and it was really engaging. I really got into it. So I just really enjoy Silent Hill now. And I'm kind of gonna probably go on a little survival horror binge. So I'm excited to check out, you know, more of these games. I might play Silent Hill 3 after this. But, you know, all in all, I think it was a really just excellent game. It kind of reminds me, like, the exploration of the town. It reminded me of Shenmue a little bit. I know that's a weird comparison, but just the expansiveness of the town and the ability to kind of get lost, and, you know, in a different way, but still an impressive 3D rendering of a town that I was really impressed with for PlayStation. And playing this kind of reminded me of that Saturn demo that they showed of Shenmue. It kind of had that similar feel. When I was playing it, this Silent Hill, I felt, you know, maybe this is what, if Shenmue were released on Saturn, what it kind of would have felt like, you know, because you know, just thinking like sprite size of the characters, and, you know, granted the characters are undead demons and zombies in Silent Hill, but I can imagine. So it was just interesting to think about that kind of stuff while I was playing through the game, and it kind of stuck with me. So just wanted to throw that in there. Just an awesome game. So what are your thoughts on Silent Hill? Do you like it? Do you think it's dated? I mean, I could understand it if you did. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. And we'll be back with another video. Maybe another survival horror game. Maybe Silent Hill 3. Who knows? I'm thinking actually about starting that. So maybe we'll do a little marathon. But we'll just have to see. So, yeah, thanks for checking out another video of Bryan's Basement. I hope you enjoyed the review of the Retro Fighter and the quick little review discussion on Silent Hill. There were just some things that I just wanted to get out there. I really love the Metal Gear comparison. I mean, being that the games were released so close and they were both made by Konami, Metal Gear being released in 98, this being released in 99, I've got to assume that some similar teams were working on the graphics and the controls and the gameplay, because I just feel like there's so many similarities there, and I really that kind of stuff really excites me. And I just love older 3D worlds. I think that there's something special about them because they weren't designed, the engines were all homemade, and everything was just it was a little different back then. So I envy those times because that's when I kind of grew up. So I was always interested in how they made this stuff. And now that I'm a little bit older and I'm more into computers, it's just cool to think about those kind of things. So, you know, sorry to ramble on about Metal Gear, but I'm always finding ties to Metal Gear and ties to Shenmue in everything I play. So thanks again for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Alright, we'll see you again next time in Bryan's basement.